Hashtag madness here. California repeal of Proposition 209 Affirmative Action Amendment in 2020. Oh yeah, because this is a good idea. I love how it's written too, because it's kind of confusing. Anyways, California repeal the Proposition Affirmative Action Amendment. It's on the ballot in California in this November. A yes vote supports this constitutional amendment to repeal this proposition, which prohibited the state from discriminating against or granting preferential treatment to persons on the basis of race, sex, color, ethnicity, national origin in public employment, public education, and public contracting. A no opposes this constitutional amendment, thereby keeping it. It was formed in 1996, which prohibited the state from discriminating against or granting personal treatment to persons on the basis of race, sex, color, ethnicity, or national origin in public employment, public education, and public contracting. So it seems like, well, yes, I want to keep it, right? No. Yes means get rid of it. No means keep it. I just think that I can't help but feel that is deliberately done that way, and somehow they got away with it. Because you would say, repeal affirmative action? No, I don't want to do that. So you would say, no, right? Or, well, but that is what you should say, is no. But it's like, oh, yeah. You know, it's just, I don't know. Maybe my brain is weird right now. I don't know. Anyways, so repealing it. So why? Why would we do that? Well, I don't know. But, so, you know, maybe this thing, you know, somebody can fact check this thing that I found. I mean, I don't know. Seems like it's correct. So they want to get rid of this protection of anti-discrimination protection. And so all this would go away, you know. And so who supported this? So the Opportunity for All Coalition, that just sounds lovely, is leading the campaign. So now D represents Democrat, right? I mean, you know, what? I mean, that can't be right. They're all Democrat. I mean, maybe D isn't Democrat. You know, wait a minute. Oh, man, you know, this can't be right. You know. Okay, well, anyway, so whatever. You know, I mean, maybe they're not, you know. You know, Dianne Feinstein, I mean, they can't be, yeah, oh, she is Democrat. So D is for Democrat. Oh, well, they're all Democrat. Okay, fine, you know. Well, let's see what their argument is, you know, because here's some arguments. And I love analyzing arguments for logical fallacies and such. Now, politics is a little bit tricky to analyze, but I will do my best to do so. So, Californians have built the 5th largest and strongest economy in the world. But too many hardworking Californians are not sharing in our state's prosperity. That sounds already. I don't like the way that this is termed already. But anyways, okay. Particularly women, families of color, and low-wage workers. I mean, is this true? Do you have a citation for this? Do you have any data for this? I mean, no? Okay. Assembly Constitutional Amendment 5 will help improve all our daily lives by repealing this and eliminating discrimination in state contracts, hiring, and education. Well, how? But this thing protects against discrimination. How would repealing it eliminate discrimination? Okay. California has become one of the only 8 states that do not allow race or gender to be among the many factors considering hiring, etc., etc. Well, now here's the thing. Okay, now it's just me, but maybe the fact that, if it is a fact, that this is the 5th largest and strongest economy in the world, which I don't know if that's true, but maybe the reason it is that is because that you are not allowing discrimination of hiring to happen. So, race-neutral solutions cannot fix problems steeped in race. Really? What does that mean? Ongoing pandemic as well as recent tragedies of police violence, is forcing California to acknowledge deep-seated inequality and far-reaching institutional failures that show that your race and gender still matter. But they don't, because the law says that they don't. So how does getting rid of this help? Like, you didn't explain, like, you didn't give an argument for your position. So here's the fallacy here. It's actually a formal one, a failure to give an argument. And also citations, yada, yada, yada. But nonetheless, I mean, this is a kind of a Wikipedia-ish sort of thing, I think. I'm not really sure exactly. But, I mean, okay, so this isn't their argument per se, but just saying, this isn't even an argument. Okay, so this person says they know about discrimination. I live it every day. Really? I mean, you're a state senator. How can you be living discrimination? I'm sorry, but I just find it hard to believe that you got elected into a state senator position even though you live discrimination every day, whatever the bleep that means. I mean, wouldn't you not be a state senator then if that was true? I mean, were you discriminated against in such a way that you became a senator because of discrimination? Anyways, we live it in this building, really? Quit lying to yourself and saying race is not a factor. The bedrock of who we are in this country is based on race. Is it? I mean, is it really? I mean, I don't think it is. I thought that the bedrock of this country, I mean, that, was what? People coming and saying, manifest destiny, let's take all this land. We did that. I don't think that, I mean, I guess, was that our race versus the native race? I mean, I guess, anyways, all right. So, let's see. Okay, dog whistle. What the hell? All right. Let's see. Before this, these efforts of advancing equality made real progress. But the Wall Street backed authors of the initiative. Really? I mean, look, if this is true, because this sounds like a conspiracy to me. Like, the Wall Street backed authors of this initiative saw a threat to their economic stranglehold. So then they made this proposition to protect against discrimination. How does that work? Even a little. Like, how does that make any sense? Okay, whatever. I mean, no, all right. Let's see. It makes a little sense to exclude any consideration, risks, and administrations. The name of the university is holistic process is to fully understand each applicant through multiple dimensions. No. What does your race have to do with anything at all? Even a little. Look, the color of your skin is irrelevant to everything, right? Like, are you saying that, if you're a certain color, that you should have different consideration? isn't that prejudice? Isn't this going to give rise to potential problems? Like, if you repeal this, now I don't have to hire you because you're black or gay or whatever. Now, some think that this is a good idea. In fact, last time I did a thing, I was talking about this video. Well, I didn't really talk about the video, but in the video that I was giving a kind of a commentary about the chat and everything and how people have groupthink, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. Well, maybe you don't. Whatever. But anyways, so that he was the guy, like, I guess he views himself libertarian-ish. I don't know what he views himself as. But anyways, he wanted to, Michael Monroe, he wanted to make this argument that business should be free to discriminate however they want. And that the free market would decide who wins. And I don't know if that's correct or not, because there are situations I can envision where that wouldn't work. Like, especially a rural area where maybe internet isn't really even a thing per se, or even if it is, the person is doesn't have too much education or whatever, but they're a hard worker, and there's 2 stores that are hiring because that's the only things that are there, right? And both those people happen to be prejudiced against this person because of, I don't know, whatever, just say that they have fuzzy hair and they don't like people with fuzzy hair or whatever. So they don't want to hire him, but the law says, no, you have to hire him or her or whatever. And you can't, so they know that, if they say that you're not hired, and they can try to say, well, you're, that it's something else, and the guy could potentially sue and whatever. So they go, okay, well, we'll hire him. But now, with this repealed, well, now they don't have to hire him, so he can't get a job there, and he can't move because he doesn't have enough money to move. So now what? So, I mean, it shouldn't matter. All that should matter is your ability, willingness to do the job. Like, can you do this job? Yes or no? Do you want to do this job? Yes or no? That's really all that should matter. But, we're going to make it matter again. Okay, Anyway, so this proposition somehow has forced California public institutions to try to address racial inequality without factoring in race. Huh? Yeah, the whole thing says, let's not think about race. Therefore, it's bad? Like, what? How? I don't understand. Somebody explain. Today, colleges can consider whether you're from suburbs, cities, or rural area. Can they? They consider what high school you went to. Can they? They can consider your family's economic background. Really? They can look at virtually everything about you, but not race. It makes no sense, and it's unfair that schools can consider something that's core to our lived experience. It won't create quotas or caps that are illegal under the Supreme Court decision remains so. Okay, now, I can actually see an argument insofar as quotas. Like, we have to hire a certain amount of people to be diverse. And this has been pushed by some, at least that I've seen and heard. So there's an argument there, but I don't think that the argument about that has anything to do with getting rid of this proposition. I could be wrong, but that's just me. I mean, I don't know. So my hashtag madness I've applied to things that I've noticed that I consider madness in past few days. So I guess this might be a reoccurring segment as I notice more things that I consider to be madness, and then I just comment about them because I don't know what to do about it, other than say, well, this is a thing that's crazy. One of my good YouTube friend buddy things, Kazumi, can never say his name, whatever. Kazami, he's done my openings a couple different times and such for me. He's a wonderful voice actor and also pretty dang good singer. He's very much into this, sort of talking about this sort of stuff, and he put up a video that's basically a meme video about this thing. It's like, even he, who really does have a lot to say about such issues, like, seems like he doesn't even know how to deal with it. So it's like, here's a meme. That's all I've got nothing left. Here you go. It's what I did with the people kneeling. I have no commentary other than here's this meme to make fun of it because this is just nonsense. Like, it doesn't make sense. What are you kneeling to? Why? No, stop. Like, wasn't kneeling the bad thing? Like, I don't know. I don't understand. The way to deal with this is to not deal with it. That is to say, there is protection against, or supposedly protection against not hiring because you're this, that, or the other. But once upon a time when my mom was looking for work, they would tell her she's overqualified, which is, I think, bullshit. There's no such thing as overqualified. I think that that's just a way to say we don't want to hire you. And the unprovable question or thought in my mind at the time was, because she's a woman, because she's older, that's why they don't want to hire her, or maybe she doesn't look right or whatever. Like, but they can't say that, so they just say you're underqualified, overqualified, or whatever, or you don't have experience. You don't have enough experience. Well, how am I supposed to get experience if nobody will hire me? Somebody has to be the first, So unless you can really prove that they're not hiring you because of X, which is extraordinarily hard to do, the law is useless. That's an argument you could make against the law, I think. You could say, well, the law doesn't, people are just finding a way around the law anyways, and so it's useless. Okay, that's an argument. At least that argument I would view as more sound or objectively true. Like, yeah, the law doesn't work. Of course, you could then say, well, I've heard that said about other things, like, well, drugs are illegal, but people are finding ways to get drugs anyways, so we should make them legal. Well, okay. There's some sense to that. There's a consequence to it. You can't just make them legal and hope everything works out. You have to also have some regulation, maybe. But, I don't know. You look at Colorado and I think California did with marijuana. They legalized it, and businesses just appeared that were selling it. So they make this stuff more refined and because they don't want to get sued into the ground if their customer gets sick, ill, or whatever, and plus that will make it illegal again. So they don't want that. So they have good incentives to make the thing safe. So that hypothetically could work with something like cocaine or meth or whatever. But you might want maybe to do an example business to start with. Say, okay, here's the example, But it seems like maybe the government, some people make the argument government should just step out of the way and let people, figure it out on their own, and some think that there needs to be a little bit of intervention. Some people think there needs to be a lot. I don't know what the R word is. But regulate? I don't know. But at any rate, I don't know which is the way to go. I'm no expert on these things. I just see that if we're trying to protect people, and maybe it doesn't work, and probably it's not working. But then taking away that protection, does that work? Maybe. But then the argument can't be that these arguments aren't good enough for me to get me to the conclusion that they want me to get to. And so for that reason, even though I can invent my own arguments for this, that's not the point. The point is they have to come up with the arguments to convince me. Oh, regulations. Yeah. I don't like there's pros and cons. Any power you give to the state, that's it. You're never going to get it back. It's like a real hard, it's like it's going to take blood and sweat and tears to get that power back. I mean, there's still laws on the book, like I think it's in Texas, you can't carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket. Yeah, no, it's true. Well, why? Well, there's this whole thing about it. It's stupid, but it's still on the books. Why? Well, because nobody bothered to get rid of it, even though we don't need it anymore. So the state still has that power over people. And sure, maybe nobody wants to carry an ice cream cone in their back pocket, but I don't know. Now that I know it's illegal, I kind of want to. Anyway, so, you got to have a good argument. And I don't see these being good arguments. So fix your arguments, Democrat people I thought Democrats were wanting to protect minorities. So they want to protect minorities so much that things that are neutral that say we're not going to consider race are now racist, I guess. Like being colorblind is racist. I've heard that as a meme. Well, maybe it's true now. I don't know. Just saying. Let me know what you think in the comments and such. Welcome to Madness. I'll see you next time in Madness. Alright. I'm out. Good night. Or day. Or whatever. Yay. See you later. Alright. I hit the button now. Alright.